Hello and welcome to Action for Animals. As promised, this is part 2 of our discussion with the RSPCA's Charmaine Hatcher, and it was just so much to cover that we knew that we couldn't fit it all in just one session. So we're really honored to have Charmaine here with us again. The RSPCA, of course, specializing in animal rescues and furthering the welfare cause for all animals. And our RSPCA is one busy organization, as we learned thanks to Charmaine. But there is so much more to cover. So before we chat with Charmaine, let us join her once again on our visit. But this time, let's take a look at boarding and their kennels.
We'll now enter our kennels. And our kennels are basically for shelter animals, as a hospital for treating animals, as well as boarding dogs and cats. Yeah, just come through. These are some of our dogs that they are walking. They're taken out a few at a time because of the sheer volume of animals that we have. What we try to do is to take out a kennel, because a kennel usually will have in about 5 dogs, and we will take that kennel out at a time and let them run. We can't let them run at the moment because we're still in full clinic, and like the gentleman there with the little brown guy, he is leaving the premises now, so we just can't let our dogs run loose in case they rush at each other. We don't want to have complications as well.
We'll continue our RSPCA visit after the break. On Action for Animals, we team up with the animal advocacy group Action for Animals Barbados, and we seek to enlighten, to educate, and to let you know the importance of correct animal care here on the island. Today, the RSPCA.
We find people are staying away from larger dogs. Well, it depends. Some folks love bigger breed dogs, others like the small ones. This was Kobe. Kobe came into us as a boarder, and then the owner never returned for Kobe. So we kept him here as well until he joined his friends over the Rainbow Bridge as well. And in this area is where we keep shelter cats. This is where they come once they are free of ringworm. They've been defleed, dewormed, and they are basically in good health. So we bring them into this larger area. And Maggie De Silva, she was a terrific cat lover, and on her passing, she wanted to dedicate an area to cats. So this is what we did for her. So as long as all the cats are peaceful, which they are, cats are so much easier looking after than the dogs, although cats are more expensive with the cat litter, but they're very peaceful, they don't mind interacting with each other, and very few little bits of hissing and spitting, but that's quite the norm. And some more here. They're just relaxing on the cool floors at the moment. Our problem more is with the young kittens. As I said, at this point, it's 135 cats and kittens that we are holding. Cat flu, FELV, FIV, is a serious problem with feral cats. on the island, and that's a lot of coughing, sneezing, runny eyes, runny noses, literally ulceration to the eyes where the cat actually becomes blind. A few that are owned, they would come in and even opt to having the eyes removed, so you have a one-eyed cat, or sometimes it's both eyes that are removed with the cats. But it's a serious situation. There is the vaccine for it, which unfortunately is not a cheap vaccine. And with regards to giving that, you have to do a blood test first. So the whole process of trying to keep your cats as healthy as possible does become quite expensive now with the FELV and the FIV with the cats. In a sense, it's sort of like cat AIDS, like how humans have AIDS, cats have it, but it's not spread to any other species or to humans. Few people do like the bigger cats, but you know, when you have a family with young children, everybody wants to start out with a little kitten to sit in your lap and just play with. These will play, all of these are very playful, but you always associate the very young with being playful. But their turn will come. We also do boarding for dogs and cats when their owners have left the island, whether it be on holiday or maybe admitting for surgery. Various reasons. Sometimes people have house parties that they don't want their pets in the house at the time of the party over the weekend. So we board both dogs and cats. They have their own kennel. They're not like shelter animals where we just bundle them up. Every allotted kennel has the own family thing. This is where we can get into trouble, especially at the time of COVID, when people were not returning on schedule to their dates because of a possible illness or illness in the family. And we work just like a hotel where we have a check-in day and a check-out day. But when flights get canceled, persons can't return to the island, as I said, for health reasons, it puts us in a bit of a bind because we already have that kennel booked out for the next person. But we always seem to manage. Somebody comes home earlier. Things tend to work out, thank goodness for that.
Today on Action for Animals, part 2 of the work of our RSPCA. Charmaine, thank you so much for agreeing to do a part 2.
You're so welcome.
Now, so much to cover again. One of the questions which came up were, what are the dog pen do's and don'ts?
When you said dog pen,
I think they mean like personal ones at home.
At home in
right.
your backyard.
Yes.
I am not a lover of them. I hate a dog kennel. Yes, you need shelter for your animal at home. A lot of people have their garage that unfortunately comes, you know, it flaps down with the doors. So the animal has no way of getting in there. But the dog kennels, they are made so like a microwave. Very little room for an animal to move around in. Sometimes there's more than one dog in these kennels. They are completely enclosed all around. Galvanized roof, which we all know is awful.
Yes.
The heat very low. Air cannot circulate in these. And again, where are they being positioned? Outside in your yard. Most of the time they're not on the trees. Bajans don't have properties now with a lot of landscaping. Unfortunately, they love cement. So your dog, your pet, is in this kennel just locked up all day long with the sun moving around. So when you leave your dog, it's in the shade, the sun is probably behind it, or the house itself, your own home is shading it. But as the sun moves around, then you start to get the midday sun, the afternoon sun. You're not coming home sometimes well until 5 o'clock, where the sun still has not gone down. And in that time, the animal has been unable to move out of the heat, get out of the heat, move out of the direct sun. They are just there with like a spotlight on them all day long. Not good enough.
My concern is when they need to do their business.
That's right.
You know, what happens then? And knowing dogs with dogs that I've had over the years, they don't like doing their business where they lie down.
No, they don't. And this again, you know, if these kennels could only have like 3 walls to them, you know, not even walls full, well ventilated.
Right.
Don't have a door on it. If the animal has to remain, in a sense, enclosed, because you are not fully fenced in. Now, animals in our laws, you cannot have your animal walking in public unless you are walking it with a lead. You can't even walk your animal off of a lead. It has to be in your control. So if your premise has lacking security, that the animal, in the true light and spirit of truly owning an animal, just be able to run around your premises, if that cannot happen, yes, he has to be unfortunately tied. But give him a decent size chain.
Right,
you know,
so he can move around,
so he can move around, come in and out of that said same kennel. Take off the door. You don't need a door, you know.
Right.
He can go in there and shelter from the rain. When it's sunny, he can come out of the kennel and probably shift around to the back of it, where he can find shade for himself.
Right.
You know.
See, this is all the information that we need to know, and we've been stressing about dog houses and so on. But speaking of your kennels, the dogs look quite comfortable in there.
Yes, yes.
Now, when it comes to boarding, tell us about that. I know that they must be spayed or neutered and vaccinated.
Not necessarily
or not
spayed and neutered.
Okay.
No, definitely vaccinated, and they have to be up to date with the vaccine, as well as tick and flea treatment. Everyone has to be up to date with that as well. If the owner cannot show us the vaccination card, because all owners, there are many vets on the island, so please show us an up-to-date vaccination card. If that cannot be produced, you've lost it, whatever, you know it is not up to date. We can do it immediately on arrival.
Right.
We will vaccinate worm and de-tick and de-flea, yes.
Okay, and it's almost like a hotel, isn't it?
It is.
You have a check-in time and a check-out time.
Yeah, booking in dates, the dates is so crucial. You know, when you're leaving, we have that date, we know you're coming in, we have your kennel ready. When your little dog is due to go out, let's say Friday morning, and then we're panicking because the new arrival is coming for that kennel, we can't get in touch with you, we're WhatsApping, we're phone calling. When you book with us as well, you have to give us a contact number of someone who will be on the island, just that we can get in touch and figure out what has gone wrong. And then the worst news is when they're extending the date. Oh, we're not coming back home, please book it in for another 2 weeks. Well, we only have so many kennels.
Right.
And we do not double up. One owner, one kennel. You do not have, even with, you know, we have family members that love to board, and if they're all going on a cruise, so sometimes we have like 4 different family members, animals in there. But still, no, every family has their own kennels.
Understood.
We do not double them up.
Okay.
No.
Now, when it comes to spaying and neutering, I remember you said that there's an age and there's a weight.
Yes, correct. We neuter especially our shelter animals when they are going out, our cats, kittens, dogs, puppies. We like to try and get them done before they leave, because it is a huge problem with the phone calls and reminders that, you know, tomorrow's your appointment, please have the little one in. And then they'll say, no, I can't manage that. It's a big workload in trying to maintain that all of our adoptions that have gone out unneutered do come back in. That's why we love, you come in, you adopt, you go through the adoption process, and then it will usually take us a day or two, maybe 3, depending on the workload and the surgery, to get these animals ready and neutered, all ready to go home. And if they are really very young kittens and puppies, we cannot give them an anesthetic to do this surgery. So they are the only ones technically that we allow to go out, but with an appointment and an assurity, and they sign a form to say
they'll be back.
They will be back.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Charmaine. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, let's take a look at the RSPCA and the hospital side.
Right.
When we come back. Today, part 2 of the work of the RSPCA. And Charmaine, let's take a look at the RSPCA as a hospital, that other side.
Right, yes. Okay, so as a hospital, it runs, well, 3 different ways, maybe more. We definitely have our booked-in surgeries, and they are, even now, our booked-in surgeries are running well into like 3 months ahead of time.
What?
Very difficult to get an appointment immediately. But then during consulting, you do have a situation where this particular pet is in dire need of surgery immediately. So although we already have our scheduled surgery, which runs for the entire day, we do have these emergencies that have to be done. So this was my other thing with the emergencies, sometimes at night with our, you know, because we are a 24-hour call. We do have emergencies that we do at night as well, but if they can hold off till the day, where then we have more staff helping in the surgery. You know, the vets cannot do these surgeries alone.
No.
They need a full complement of staff. So we then delay that nighttime surgery for the morning. So
it
now
pushes the others
which
back.
is now 3 batches of surgery, our regular, our nighttime, and the ones that we're seeing in consultation. So the surgery room is very busy all of the time.
What surgeries keep you most occupied? What do you see most? What issues?
Well, we definitely, with issues.
Yeah.
Right. Cesareans, C-sections, yes, they come in quite often, all the time. And then, of course, mammary growths, like cancer of the breast with the females. We also have prostate problems with the male dogs as well. They tend to be quite trying because an owner has seen this growth coming. It starts off like a cherry. Eventually, and honestly, an animal will come in with a mammary growth like the size of a shaddock. Now, how this animal has been moving around is beyond me, that they couldn't seek help before, you know? And they're now coming in because it is raking the ground, it is ulcerating, it's bleeding, and that then has priority again, even to our booked-in surgery. You know, a lot of our clients know, well, the people who have booked in know that, oh, you come back and collect between 12 and 3. But then it starts the phone calls. You know, we've had this emergency, we've had some pet owners get a little anxious and, oh, well, you know, I wanted to collect at the time of collecting the children from school or whatever, but they understand, you know, an emergency has to come first. And unfortunately, these emergencies are every day, every day.
Well, also your rescues.
Are yes.
Yeah, so tell us about them. I know Inspector Norville keeps very, very busy.
Yes, he does.
And also has to be at the port as well.
Yes, everything, because, well, we have a port pass, which helps us initially as well. So you don't go and, you know, purchase, get that, and so we just go. They give us a call, we go. That tends to be more seabirds as well. Yes, we did have, going back a little while, the cruise ships, and there was a couple of people on the boats that were going to each of the islands, going through and picking up little strays and hiding them then in their cabin. And it was the cabin crew that were, yeah, there's something going on in this room, you know? So animals have to come off. And then it's a big dialogue and whatever, because you cannot have animals entering our port without health certificates, everything.
Right.
So then that's where we're open then to more time-consuming situations. We don't want to put away the animals, but the animals are here illegally. Then we have with the government vets to, you know, what can we do on this situation?
I look at the iguana problem that Florida is undergoing, and actually they're a hazard now because of the cold temperatures. They fall out of trees and land
and then the
in front
cats
of
are picking them.
the cat. It's, you know, and they are not indigenous to that area.
No, we have on this island too.
Really?
And they're out there in the wild. Yes. Yes. We even have to rehome them also. All the animals that are brought into us, we then try and rehome them back out. Iguanas are now in that section of animals. Well, we try to get them back out as quick as possible, hopefully within the same day.
Yeah.
People coming into our clinic are bringing in various creatures. So there are the birds, there are the snakes, there are the we even have little mice and gerbils and rats and guinea pigs and rabbits, the odd monkey, unfortunately too. I say unfortunate because I don't like to see them in captivity.
Neither do I.
No. But then it's through that database that we know who to call when we do have these animals brought into us. We can get them back into an environment where there are others in there and they settle down and do well again. Yeah.
We're going to be doing a season 2 of Action for Animals, not sure just when we'll be starting, but I think we need to go out on call with the RSPCA and see, you know, nosy at just what kind of animals are coming in, because the worry is, of course, that they're not from here, so then they affect our environment.
That is correct.
Our local creatures, and that is worrying. What concerns you, Charmaine?
Well, it is so easy to get a permit and bring it in the correct ways of traveling. They tend to come in a lot by boats too, from the inter-island boats. But Barbados is rabies free. And we have had that status for umpty decades. I mean, we've been in that status for a long, long time. And just through the foolishness of I don't know why people think they have to break rules, but it's there. And the animals are coming in. And it is a danger to our local stocks. Even birds. Birds are smuggled in. We have our chicken industry and birds here.
Bird flu is around now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The States is under serious pressure because of that.
And the birds are coming in. They are coming in illegally. Just get a certificate just to bring it in.
Okay.
You know.
Thank you so much, Charmaine.
Okay.
Thank you for allowing us to bring you in on one of your busy Wednesdays. This is when we record and get to show again then on Mondays. But, you know, it's always great to see animal lovers and see them within their own environment. And because you care so much is what makes the RSPCA work. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us on Action for Animals. We'll be back with you next time.